Welcome everyone to the coolest car I have ever bought. My 2005 BMW E60 M5 V10. So this is my 2005 E60 M5. Let's have a little walk around and see what I've actually bought and if it's actually any good. Starting off, we've got a set of LCI headlights, which I think bring the age of this car down a bit. I think it makes it look really, really smart. We've also got chrome grills, which I actually fitted. They've got a little bit of a story about those grills. I bought this car just before I went to Las Vegas. When I bought it, it had a set of black grills in it and I absolutely detest them. While I was in Las Vegas, I ended up going to a pick and pull scrapyard and I found these grills on a BMW E60 V8. I have bought an E60 M5, which is the same shape as that. And I need some bits for it. I need some chrome grills and I want to have a look at what other bits I have.
Well, let's see if it's got a chrome grill. Oh, here we go.
Hello.
Is this what you're after?
Yeah. Right, I've got the grills.
Yeah, okay,
right.
Yeah.
I'm off. And I bought them and brought them home in my suitcase. So these grills have actually lived a life on another E60 somewhere in the US. I think that's really, really cool. It also came with this private number plate. Extra points if you guess what VWE means. Wasn't my first choice. I didn't put it on there, but it's on there, so we'll stick with it. Now the colour is Interlagos blue. My opinion, the best colour you can get in an E60 M5. It's bold but classy. It is the correct colour for this car. We've also got the original wheels. I am a bit of a tart, so it does have a set of floating centre caps which spin when stationary and they stay level when I drive along like a Rolls Royce. It does sit a little bit lower than it would from factory because I've put it on H&R lowering springs and I've added a little 10mm spacer to the front just because from factory I think the wheels sit a little bit too far in and for some reason the ride height is higher at the front than it is at the rear and they just look a bit weird. They sit a bit weird. So I've lowered it down a little bit and added some space, but there's no rubbing. It drives completely perfectly. It's also got really nice little side vents and these mirrors which are specific to an E60 M5. When you're sat on the M4 doing 70 miles an hour in the outside lane and an E60 flies up behind you at usually about 110 miles an hour, if it doesn't have front fog lights and it has these wing mirrors on it, you know to move out of the way because it's got a V10 in it. The main reason I bought this car is because the paintwork is in exceptional condition. I think there's one stone chip on the front, the rest of it is mint. Obviously it probably has been painted at some point in its life and it has been detailed, but the sides are dead straight. There's no parking dings, anything like that. No rust. Not that E60s tend to rust anyway, they're usually pretty good, but there's no rust at all. There's actually no signs of accident damage or crashes on this car, which is, again, the main reason I bought it, because I thought, well, realistically, I'm probably gonna have to rebuild it mechanically at some point anyway. So if I get one with good bodywork, then we're halfway there. Also, LCI rear lights, original exhaust tips, doesn't have an original exhaust.
You're joking.
But I have got the original tip, so it still looks original. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a tow bar. I would like to look at this in the future and see if I can retrofit some kind of detachable tow bar to it, because it would be quite nice to get like maybe an Interlagos blue jet ski, something ridiculous that would look period correct for this car. Before I show you around the interior of this car, I want to show you a tool that I use all the time on pretty much all of my cars, and that is my Carli OBD diagnostic tool. Carli is a solution that plugs into your car's OBD port that gives you lots of features, usually only accessible by automotive professionals. For example, diagnostics, coding, live data, mileage verification, and digital service records. All you do is simply plug in the Carli OBD device into your car's OBD port, load up the app, and then connect to your specific vehicle. So Carli helps me diagnose my car. So what I'm going to do is go into the diagnostics first, and I'm going to run a full diagnostic check of my E60 M5. Hopefully it's not too catastrophic. I expect it probably will be, although I don't actually have any warning lights on the dashboard, so it shouldn't be too terrible. Right, so it's now run the check and it has found 28 issues. Oh, I've got 16 issues with my engine. I've got several cylinder misfire cut out, engine emergency program activated, misfire cylinder 3, misfire cylinder 4, misfire cylinder 5. So there are a lot of faults in this car's engine ECU, which is surprising because there's not actually an engine management light on. I would have thought a lot of these would have brought on an engine management light. So without my Carly, I wouldn't even know that these were here. And this can save you money by plugging your car in and being able to diagnose it yourself without having to take it to a specialist. Carly also allows me to unlock hidden features with my car. In this case, I'm going to code in optical confirmation when locking and unlocking so that my indicators flash when I lock or unlock my car. I'm also going to code in comfort folding for side view mirrors so that my mirrors fold in when I lock the car. And finally, I'm going to code prohibit engine start without brake to off so that I don't need to apply my brake when I start this mighty V10. So if you want to diagnose and unlock hidden features on your cars, just like I've done with my M5, then click the link in the description or use the QR code on screen now and use the code TAYLORMC for 15% discount. And you might just be able to save yourself some money on diagnostic fees if your car's got as many problems as this thing has. Right, let me show you around the rest of it. Moving in here, we've got Silverstone leather. I think this is the best combo for any E60 M5. Interlagos blue on Silverstone leather. It's proper press car spec. This is how they would have been back in the day. They wouldn't have had carbon fiber trim though. This has got carbon fiber center console and dash trim and door trims as well actually. It is real carbon fiber. You can actually see the weave in it in a lot of places. And I have taken a piece of it off and flipped it over and it is real carbon fiber overlay, but I don't think it's factory fitted. I'm not 100% sure, I could be wrong, it could have been an option. The dashboard of this car is quite plain, quite simple, but it's very usable and it's just nice. The switches are really good quality. You've got the little SMG gear knob here, because obviously this is an SMG car. You couldn't buy these as a manual unless you lived in North America and ordered one brand new. It does also have Apple CarPlay, which has been retrofitted to this car, not by me, but I find it incredibly useful. It works through the little upturned pie dish that I think Jeremy Clarkson once called it. The best thing, by a mile, in this interior though, are the dials, mainly because the rev counter goes up to 9,000 RPM and the speedo goes up to 200 miles an hour, which although my wallet will not agree, I would quite like to experience one day because, yeah, by all accounts, this is, de-restricted, a 200 mile an hour car. So picture this, it's 2005, you've just picked up your brand new BMW E60 M5, you've just driven it to the pub to go and see your mates, and they've asked to have a look under the bonnet. Look at that. That is genuinely so cool. It's so large and ridiculous. What they were thinking when they built this car baffles me, but I am so glad and so grateful that they did. They literally took a 5-litre V10, originally derived from a BMW Formula 1 car, and stuck it in a business saloon. This is the most ridiculous thing you will probably ever see. This will never be done again and never be replicated, which is part of the reason that I love it so much. The numbers that this car provides blows the mind. 5 litres, V10, 40 valves, 10 open throttle bodies. This engine is fully naturally aspirated, no turbos, no nothing, but it still produces 500 horsepower. This thing's still fast even by today's standards. What would this have been like in 2005? No wonder this car has got such a cool reputation. So numbers aside, this is in pretty good condition. This car's had rod bearings already. It's had throttle actuators, which is also a common issue. It hasn't had injectors. Now that is something that I want to do absolutely immediately. The injectors on this car do tend to stick open. They can flood the cylinders full of fuel and then basically blow up the engine. So that is something that I want to address immediately. You can replace them, they are quite expensive, or you can have them rebuilt. I'm gonna go down the rebuilt route. So that is one of the first things on my agenda with this car. I had a good look at it. It looks like the original engine. A lot of them don't have their original engines in them. A lot of them are crashed, they are bodged together. So to find one of these that's a nice example and that hasn't lived a life is hard these days. So it's definitely something to look out for. But I think this one is genuinely a good car. But I have had to spend quite a lot of money on it. In fact, the list of things that I've had to replace is so long, I've actually had to note it down on my phone. First of which were the brakes. I've had to replace all of the brakes on this car, including the brake discs, EBC brake pads, EBC racing brake fluid, and braided brake lines. Under here, I've done a full service, coils, coil pack covers, spark plugs, an oil cooler, O2 sensors, airflow meters, a thermostat, a coolant hose, and a fuel pressure sensor. Suspension wise, I've done rear arms, front lower arms, track rod ends, track rods, steering rack gaiters, lowering springs, and 2 lots of wheel alignment. Under the rear seat, I've replaced the fuel sender and the fuel pump. I've also replaced all of the under trays, which for pieces of plastic were extortionately expensive. With all of that work done, I've spent a massive £5,136. Now, I've tried to keep the cost of this down by doing it myself. If I'd have taken it to a BMW dealer or specialist, I could have spent at least double that. Even after I've spent that amount of money, this car still has one major engine issue. And that big problem is that this car is severely lacking in power. At low RPM, it feels really flat. Through the mid-range, it feels okay. And then at high RPM, it just doesn't feel anywhere near as powerful as it should do. And I have never experienced the 500 brake horsepower that this car should have. So what I'm gonna do now is take this car over to a good friend of mine, James at Reedish Motorsport. He's gonna have a look into this issue for me and see if we can get to the bottom of it. Right, so I've brought my very poorly E60 M5 over to James from Reedish Motorsport, and you're going to have a little look at my M5. This has obviously got a power issue. It's not running very happily.
No.
I've been told that it has low pressure on the Vanos system,
yeah.
which is a little bit worrying because it could be one of many things.
That's true.
But you're going to run a test on it.
We're going to do a test, yeah, using the BMW special tools, which are designed to fit directly onto this distribution port in the middle,
okay,
and read the pressure in a mechanical way.
Because it is a mechanical pump in the bottom of the engine.
Bottom of the engine, yeah.
Which supplies oil up to the two Vanos systems up there.
And it comes through, the Vanos pipe comes through the timing case, so you can't see it, and then it pops out just behind the water pump pulley before then T-piece in over to each bank.
It is quite common for that
yeah,
pipe to fail, isn't it? Obviously, we're going to run the
Depends.
test on it now, and that will tell us
If
pretty much whether it is that or not. It could be one of other things, but it's more likely to be that.
Yes.
If it is that, it's a pretty mammoth job to replace, isn't it?
It's a fair job, yeah. Sump off, so subframe suspension, steering rack down, support the engine, and then once the sump's off, then you can see the bottom of it and the banjo bolt, but you can't see where it goes because it's all inside the timing case. So then you have to do a bit of disassembly up in the engine bay, top cover off, electric fan, move a few things out of the way, belt off, water pump pulley off, and then you can get to the other end of it, so to speak.
So to change it, it's bottom of the engine off, front of the engine off, subframe out.
Yeah.
Big job.
Yeah.
Shall we run the test on it?
Let's have a look. Yeah.
So this is the tool here. It's literally just a mechanical gauge.
Just mechanical gauge.
And then you've just got a banjo bolt that screws into the
extra
pipe.
long banjo bolt, because you're going to now be adding this piece in the middle, so it has to be extra long.
Okay.
And you have to sandwich your seals in between because you're adding something in. And then we got these are BMW tools as well. There's probably even part numbers on there. Yeah, there is. Yeah. Little part numbers on there. Don't know if they're still available, but those go into the Vanos unit because we're going to take off the T-piece item.
And blank it off.
Blank it off, because otherwise when you start the engine up, you're going to get oil coming out.
Okay.
And these go into the other end of the T-piece, the bit that's going to be left floating around. Use the original banjos, just to make sure dirt and debris and things don't get in whilst we've opened the oil system.
All right, well, should we get it on and run the test?
Let's have a go.
As much as this is a big job, I'm kind of hoping it is this, because then it sort of settles my mind, and I know, because I've been questioning for ages, what is the problem with this car? So hopefully with this, we'll actually find out. We've got to take the little banjo bolt out the middle first.
Yeah, first we're just going to pop that secondary air pump pipe off.
Do you know, one thing I will say, touch wood, this car does not have a single oil leak. It is bone dry.
Fair play, that is quite impressive.
It is absolutely, but like even the rocker covers, bone dry.
That's our banjo, which is a lot smaller than the special tool one.
So that's just an adapter, so you can add the
so
width
we've got a second hole, so we can now add that in the middle of the system and now send oil pressure up here to the gauge to be able to read. And obviously, if I haven't made it clear, we obviously have to start the engine whilst this is connected.
Yeah.
Which is always a scary process, because you've just opened the oil ways on 1,000 PSI pump, and you know you've got to start it with a special tool hanging out the bonnet. And you can't shut the bonnet because that's in the way. And that's exactly why these are all critical parts of the BMW tool system, because if you didn't have them and you start the engine, bits are going to go.
Then
your walls are going to be painted brown. So yeah, look, it's full up with oil.
Oh, okay.
Which is a good sign that there's no blockage, and also the pump is outputting.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't, there'd be no oil there.
Yeah, so there is oil getting up to
Exactly, there's some oil getting up, and like I described earlier, it's possible that maybe just 100 PSI is getting up, not enough to actuate it, but yeah, enough to fill the the system.
James put on his oil pressure gauge so we could start the engine and work out if the low oil pressure in the Vanos system was actually the problem. Once fitted, we were then ready to start it up and run the test.
Yeah, you start it, and
Yeah.
then I'll scream if it goes everywhere. Yeah, okay, I think we're good to go.
Yeah?
Yep. That's PSI, 1000 PSI, so it's got pressure.
Has it got enough pressure?
Yeah, 1000 PSI, it's fine. Yeah.
That's not good though, is it?
No, that's what we were not wanting. Right, pop it off then.
That's not good.
Well, we've just seen the Vanos high pressure pump put out 1000 PSI, bang on 1000, which is fine. That's exactly what it's rated at, what it should be. And that means oil pressure is coming up through the hose. So the pipe, the internal pipe that we know that regularly splits, cannot be split.
Okay.
Because it's coming through there and it's already up to the gauge. So therefore, when the gauge is not fitted, that oil pressure is going to both Vanos units.
So what on earth is wrong with this car?
Exactly. That's what we didn't want to find. We were hoping it was going to be a straightforward one, just a pipe.
Yeah. So two things. I was actually going to start working on this car next week and strip this down myself and change that pipe. Number one, I'm really glad I didn't do that.
In a way,
and I brought it here for diagnosis first.
Yeah.
Number two, I'm now incredibly concerned because we don't actually know what's wrong with this car.
No, not just yet. Do you get engine management lights and any other problems? It just feels down on power.
It feels down on power. It sounds a bit rattly when you rev it really high.
Yeah.
It feels a bit flat in various points of the rev range. Sometimes it smells eggy through the exhaust. Why is it always me? Why do I always end up with the really complicated technical stuff that nobody can work out that always causes loads of issues and blows up all the time?
Well, the first test hasn't been what we wanted, but
No.
there are other things we can go into.
Are they more involved, I'm going to assume?
Yeah, technically. I'm racking my brains thinking where we go next with it.
So it's now an hour or so later,
Yes.
and we've done a bit more diagnosis, haven't we, James? And
Yeah.
we've made some discoveries.
We have.
So the Vanos system is fine. It's producing 1000 PSI of
That's
oil
amazing.
pressure,
Perfect.
which is good, which
Yeah.
I genuinely never expected. We found some fault codes in there that bring on an engine management light. Now, I have never noticed an engine management light in this car, but you found codes in there that suggest that it's got an engine management light on.
It would have to have a management light on.
So we've just flicked the ignition on and there is no engine management light, which I've never noticed. So somebody has put some electrical tape or glue or a Sharpie pen or something over the engine management light in the dials of this car.
Yeah, it's got Vanos pressure, so the pump pipes are fine.
Yeah.
You've had rod bearings done. You've got evidence, you've got loads of history with it. It's well maintained.
Potentially still a Vanos issue, but not the pump.
Exactly, I can't see that there's a pump. We've done loads of pumps and we've had pumps fail, but when they're wrong, they will generate no pressure. Loads of pipes, splitting all the time, but both of those are showing fine at the moment, 1000
Yeah.
PSI. So it's something past the distribution line. So the only things we've got there are Vanos units, as in adjuster units, as BMW call them, or solenoids.
Well, I'm going to probably not sleep for the next few nights, but thank you very much, James. We'll leave it over with you now.
Okay, no worries.
And we'll reconvene in the next few days or weeks
Let you
or
know
so.
what we find, yeah.
All right, well, thank you very much.
No worries.
Join me next time as I investigate further and try and fix my M5 and I make some unbelievable discoveries.
Oh my God! Ah!